Hey, Soul Tribe, it is Intuitive Energy Guide, Clairvoyant, and Source Energy Channel. Kathy Weiss here. Welcome to your weekly energy reading. I am coming to you live from this incredible Airbnb boathouse in Sydney, Australia. So it is Monday, October 14th, 2019, here in Australia, and that makes it Sunday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. in California, which is my home base. So those are the two time zones I'll share with you, and then y'all can like do the math and figure out what day and time it is for you wherever you are in the world. And isn't it like amazing and incredible that we can connect to each other like this? I think it's awesome. So this is your energy reading for the week of October 14th through October 20th, 2019. But keep in mind that whether you are watching this live or later or any point in the future, when you come across this video, that just means there is some information in here that you're meant to hear. So stick with it. I am super excited and infused with all kinds of ridiculous energy today, guys, because it's October 14th in Australia, which is my birthday. But I'm always like a little bit like, but if I was born in the United States and it's still October 13th, is it my birthday today or tomorrow? And so, you know what? I'm doubling down and celebrating my birthday 2 days in a row. Why not? And I'm thrilled that I'm sharing part of it with you guys. Like, I really am. I was so excited to know that I'm starting my birthday celebration off by hanging out with my worldwide soul tribe. You guys are so awesome. And I'm going to be sharing a post. I've already kind of pre-written some thoughts about my birthday this year, which is like way different than it has been in several years past. So make sure you're following me on Instagram or Facebook, or if you're, on my personal Facebook, somewhere in there, and I'll make sure that maybe I should write a blog. It's going to happen. You guys are going to I'll make sure that you hear that. But let's get into you. So I wanted to first of all share this beautiful stone, crystal, gemstone, whatever you want to call this. I found it several days ago at this fossil and gemstone shop more near Newcastle, which is about 2 hours north here of Sydney. And this is called ruby in Ziosite. So the pieces that you see that look sort of like pinkish here, that's ruby. And the rest of the stone, the sort of turquoisey and this like sandstone color part of it, that's the Ziosite. So it's ruby in Ziosite. And when I was walking around that shop, I was like, I need that. Even though I have bracelets actually made of this stone, I was like, I need that heart. And I just wanted to like put it on, like lay on the couch with this gemstone on my heart. And I didn't really know why. I couldn't really remember the properties of ruby and Ziosite. And I'm just going to peek down. I have some notes over here to the side, you guys, because here's the thing about intuition and guidance. Your heart is telling you this, do this, get this, take this action, whatever it is. And that's valid. And that's like, yes, 100% what you do. And our heads are more of the like, yeah, but I need some reasons, or I need some facts, or I need some hardcore information. So it's not like we have to know in our minds everything and all the information. It's like there's too much to know and hold in there anyway. So what we do is follow our hearts, trust the guidance and the intuition that flows through. And then, hey, we can go look information up. So let me tell you a little bit about ruby and Ziosite. So ruby is the energy of happiness, appreciation, abundance, vitality, and growth. The Ziosite, right, because it's both, it's ruby in Ziosite. The Ziosite helps to alleviate grief, anger, despair, and defeat. And I love how perfect it is. And I want to share with you just a little bit of the energy of this stone. And what was interesting for me is I bought this stone, like, let's say it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday. I can't quite remember now. And then the following morning, heard some news that for a little bit made me feel really defeated. I just felt like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And then I looked up the properties of the stone, and I'm like, it helps alleviate defeat. And I've just been keeping it close by, like in a pocket or in my purse or, around me. And I feel like amazing again. I feel like awesome today, and that news didn't change, and that news is still there, and we'll still have to kind of figure out what I'm going to do with that information. But I don't feel defeated by it. I feel kind of enlivened and more like, you know what? Everything is working in my favor. And that situation is only going to help me move forward to achieving certain goals and dreams that I have for myself and my coming year. So, ruby and Ziosite is definitely the gemstone of the week. Next is the color turquoise. When I was getting ready to hang out with you guys today, there was like no discussion that I would be wearing turquoise and turquoise bracelets with a little bit of that moonstone to kind of like balance it out. And even I'm wearing opal, but the colors you can see of that opal are really super close to the turquoise. And so same thing, I just trusted and knew that we all needed the energy of turquoise without really knowing like the info in my mind. So it's okay, guys, again, it's okay to not know the why as you're following and trusting your intuition or following guidance from your guides and mentors and helpers and healers. So turquoise, so that you know and you feel motivated to bust out some turquoise this week, is the color of feminine, calming, sophistication, wisdom, serenity, wholeness, creativity, emotional balance, good luck, spiritual grounding, and friendship. Plus love, joy, tranquility, intuition, and loyalty. Holy cow, so much goodness in the color turquoise. So go get you some, paint your nails, put on your turquoise underwear. Like, I don't even care. Grab some turquoise this week, okay? So sorry. I kind of have this situation. It looks so beautiful behind me, but I'm set up on this like little ottoman in front of an open door. This Airbnb has like the most amazing natural light, but whenever I tried to get in front of it, I looked like crazy and washed out. So I'm a little precarious right now. But what I want to do is get into this week's energy reading, which is so interesting. Guys, I'm a source energy channel. Source energy is that thing that's greater and wiser than us, that's constantly flowing information through. And we're all receiving it, but sometimes for whatever reason, we aren't hearing it or we aren't interpreting it. And that's just for us. But then there's also information that the universe wants to send out collectively. It wants to send out to all of us, and it does that in different ways. Like, have you ever heard a piece of music or a song that just like speaks to your heart? There's a good likelihood that that music was channeled and sent through that divine receptacle for you to hear. That's the same thing with these messages. I speak them, but they're really coming through me for all of us to hear. So anyone who's listening or watching is meant to hear this information. And what was coming up this week was the word repeat. And sort of like last week, I just heard the word smooth and I had to like hang out for a little while to figure out what was meant by smooth. It's the same thing with repeat. And I came to really understand and hear the rest of it is that we're repeating the message from last week about smooth, but more importantly, repeating the action steps. So along with that wisdom last week of smooth was that we were supposed to become energetically smooth, to allow old behavior patterns, old thoughts, old limiting beliefs, old toxic negative stuff, things that have been holding you back for whatever reason. Doesn't even matter, like just to become energetically smooth and to release that. And I got a sense that many of you listening and watching heard that and were like, yeah, that's good, I'm gonna do that. And then you got back into your week and your day-to-day life and routine, and that information was like gone. And that's okay. It happens to me too. I will like get some really great guidance and be like, I am on top of that. Oh, as soon as I, go over here and go grocery shopping or blah, 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 do whatever. And then I have completely forgotten what the guidance even was, let alone that I was supposed to follow it until it gets repeated back to me in some form or way. So our guides know that we're human. And our guides know that we're spiritual beings living human lives. And our guides know that means that human life can distract us sometimes from the guidance that's flowing through. And that's why it gets repeated. There's no judgment happening is what I'm kind of like turning up to the side because that's where I'm hearing information coming through for us now from our guides. And what I'm hearing is there's no judgment and they just love us all so much. Like there's so much love flowing through that I feel a little bit emotional about that. It's really powerful. And they're just saying like, yeah, it's okay. And we're repeating. We want you to follow this action step of becoming energetically smooth and releasing because again, we're like mere days away. Okay, really technically it's about 5 or 6 weeks now that we're away from the end of this really intense cycle of change that we've all been going through. And it's sort of starting to wind down. And you may be feeling and experiencing in your life like, oh my gosh, all that stuff is starting to resolve. All of that change doesn't feel like change as much anymore. Is it starting to feel like a new normal or a new natural? And we're just kind of tying up the last little bits of that energy. And part of it is this call to action to really set aside some time for energy release. And if you're experienced with that, you can do it for yourself. If you're middling experienced or brand new to it, you may want to get some help, like a Reiki healer, a shaman, a sound healer, a crystal healer, an intuitive, clairvoyant, like whatever you feel drawn to. Again, you're going to trust your heart without knowing all the details and all the facts or how it works or why it works. But in your heart, you're going to be called to something of those action steps. And we're really, really like strongly being asked to follow that before the end of November. So we've got a few weeks, but again, this is like, we really want you to do this so that you are ready for whatever's coming next. And I haven't been given that information yet because it will throw some of us off track from needing to stay present in the moment with this action step. But what I'm hearing is to trust that the guidance never ends. The guidance is always, at least, thank you. The way I deliver guidance, there are different types of channels who deliver different types of guidance. The way I deliver guidance is a very present moment. And it's just, this is what you need to do now. And let's not get distracted by what's coming next, because what comes next is a result of what you need to do now. And so I really deliver very present moment, very like action steps is what I call them. It's like, this is what you need to do now to manifest what's coming next. You know, other guides might be able to give you some information about the future. I totally can't. That's not how my gift works. So energetically smooth, get cleared out. And once we do that, we'll get the next information or the next bits of guidance for what's next. And so I really love that because it's like, I don't have to freak out and worry about it. I just have to know and trust that if I do that action step, if I follow the guidance, the next thing is going to happen and it's going to be wonderful and fabulous. One more tidbit. I didn't write today's guidance down. I'm more channeling it right now in the moment. So one more thing before I pull you this really beautiful Flowers of the Night Oracle deck. Some of you who have worked with me one-on-one have action step success sheets. And if you haven't worked with me one-on-one, that's fine. Like, you can just follow this guidance. But if you do work with me one-on-one, you get personalized action steps that are meant just for you. So all of us are meant to follow the action steps in these videos. One-on-one clients get very personalized, like, this is exactly what you need to do, which is different from the rest of us. And they get a sheet to help track that guidance, know their start dates and end dates or ongoing activities, and where they can record notes about their success or extra things they need to do, whatever. It's a really cool, powerful tool that everyone who works with me one-on-one says is like their favorite thing because it keeps them on track and they can see their progress and their success moving forward. So if you have action step success sheets from me, you're being guided to pull those out, look at them, see if there's anything you need to complete, anything that you forgot about that you really meant to do, or if there's something you completed but you're feeling really drawn to go back and repeat. This is the week for completion or repeating or doing one of the things that sort of fell to the wayside. So that's for anyone who's with me one-on-one. Okay. I love this deck, the Flowers of the Night Oracle, because it's dark. So many oracle cards are beautiful and they're light and they're airy and they're drawing us to the light. And the wisdom of this deck is that darkness and night isn't bad or scary or negative. There is so much beauty in the night. And then make sure you follow me on either Facebook or Instagram. Facebook is Lightworker Kathy Weiss and Instagram is Lightworker_Kathy. So I'm going to share within the next little bit of time, 24 hours or so, when I'm kind of mood, because I have some fun adventures in front of me today. But there was this most glorious full moon over the water here, and it was like, wow, you wouldn't see that in the daytime. It was like perfectly reflecting off of the water, and it was like sparkling and just glorious, right? We don't have that glorious moment in the light in the daytime. That glorious, luminous, radiant energy is 100% owned by the night and by dark. So where some of us are being asked to not run away from our internal darkness, but to really look inside and see the luminosity and to see the glorious beauty. Or even like gemstones and crystals are such a great also metaphor for that. Or something like symbolic, because so many gemstones or crystals are found inside of darkness. The inside of a geode is dark until we crack it open. The inside of a cave is dark until we shine a flashlight. And then when we do, we see all of this beauty and all of this healing and all of this wealth and all of this prosperity surrounding us. Your darkness has that same luminosity and that same beauty and that same treasure. It's just waiting for you to shine your own light upon it to see it. And if you need help with that, or you need one-on-one guidance or specific stories and examples, I got them for sure. But now is not the time. Now is the time for one of these beautiful oracle cards. So let me give that a quick little shuffle and tighten it up. Here we go. I always see the bottom card. I should just close my eyes. So I'm going to cut the deck one more time. Oh, and when I cut the deck, something started to pull out. So there is our card for today. And this is Pleasure, Belle de Nuit. Okay, so somebody studied Spanish in school, not French. So I totally mangled that French right there. But I am sure that this means like beauty of the night or flower of the night or something like that. And it looks to me, so the flower is pleasure. And it looks to me like that maybe that's like a little lemur. I'm going to look in the guidebook to make sure we have the real like information about that. But pleasure this week. Take pleasure in your action steps. Here's why. Many of us are longing to live our dream life. Many of us are longing to live a life of joy and vitality and freedom that doesn't just poof into your lap. It comes into your life because you're taking your action steps, because you're following the guidance. And so if you can really take pleasure in following your guidance and knowing that you're being led to your dream life, all of a sudden you open your eyes and look around and you're like, holy crap, I'm living my dream life like right now in this moment. It's amazing. And the only way that I got here was by following those action steps and enjoying the fact that I was being guided. And then of course, whatever brings you pleasure just because it brings you pleasure. Dancing, creating, writing, sleeping, reading a book. Bring it on. So the little animal is known as the honey bear, and it is a mammal found in the forest and rainforests of Central and South America. It is an omnivore, and it primarily eats fruits, with 90% of their food source being figs. I love figs. Maybe we should all eat figs this week as our pleasure action step, if you like figs. You know, it's really great. Figs, a little bit of chèvre, a little bit of honey, a little crack of pepper on top. Heaven. So pleasure. Your desires could be and should be fulfilled 100%. Temptations will also be that little... I'm going to try that one again. Temptations will also be just that little sweeter and easier to attain. Don't forget to have fun, do what pleases you, and not just what pleases everyone else. So, this is a week for remembering your soul centered life should be one that has pleasure and joy and fun and action steps. It's all of it combined together. It's not one or the other, guys. It is action steps and pleasure. And pleasure is an action step. So go after it in little bits and nuggets here and there, and 100% you'll find it. I'm being guided to tell you, like, 99.9% of my lifetime, I eat like super healthy, like really well planned out meals. Dinner's like some protein and some vegetables and things like that. And last night, dinner was pear, brie, these pumpkin and cranberry cracker things. It was like, I'm drooling just thinking about it. It was like so not what you might consider a healthy dinner. And I was like in heaven. So sometimes a little bit of those pleasures is like going to bring you so much joy. It says now is the time to indulge, but be prepared be prepared for the consequences, right? So don't overdo it. Have a glass of wine, not a bottle. Have one dinner that's a little bit naughty, not every night type of a thing, right? Because we all know if we overdo those indulgences or overdo those pleasures, the consequences are less than fabulous, is the way that I'm hearing to say it. So we love you so much. We're eager and excited for what's coming next. And we really urge and guide and invite you to follow the wisdom that poured forth through this video. There were multiple avenues so that each of you has something that you can hold on to as your action step. Choose at least one thing that you heard in today's video. Embrace that into your heart and know that more will follow when you complete this week's action steps. If you missed the beginning of the video, please go back and watch it so that you hear all of the delicious options in there and that you can find the one that really resonates with you. And again, remember, let your heart lead the way. You don't have to know the information, the what, the why, the how, the reasons. I believe in you. I trust you. I love you so much. And as a reminder, next week, Monday, October 21st, I'll be back in California. So we'll go back to our regular schedule of your weekly energy reading at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time on Mondays, as well as your weekly energy charge up, which happens on Mondays on Facebook and my Instagram stories, where I lay out a handful of gemstones and crystals. You choose the one that resonates with you, and I shoot you back just a super short, like one or two word, not even sentence, 1 or 2 word note about the energy that's flowing and supporting you for the week. So I will see you back next Monday. Make sure you keep following along on Instagram and Facebook stories for my last few adventures over here in Australia. I got some good stuff coming up the last couple days. So make sure you're hanging out with me, and I will see you next week for your weekly energy reading. You guys are awesome. I love you. Thanks for being patient and being here with me. Bye.